How are you finding off-market properties for your buyers? Hey everyone, Willie Miranda with the Ultimate Real Estate Success Blueprint, and that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about today. Been talking to a lot of agents over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of them have been caught up in multiple offer situations, 3, 4, 5 different offers that they put in for their buyers, and just losing out on multiple offers. They're getting beat by 50,000 over what they actually presented, and they were over 30,000. We had one the other day, 103,000 over ask. If you have an FHA buyer or another buyer that is not putting a lot of money down in some type of conventional type product, again, that's been hurting them as well, right? With other buyers that are coming in, putting half cash down or paying all cash. And I've been talking to some agents, and some of these agents been in the business 25, 30 years. And because we're in such a strong seller market right now, it's really tough out there when working with buyers, especially if you're just relying on the MLS. And what I mean by that is that, when I'm talking to some of these agents that are just frustrated, they think they're doing something wrong, and I'll have a conversation with them. I said, well, what are you doing proactively to find properties for your buyers? Yeah, I just, every day I'm on that MLS, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And as soon as it comes on the market, I send it to the buyer and, see if they want to get out there, and we go out there and take a look at the property, and we get the offer in as quickly as we can, and then all of a sudden, we're in multiple offers. So I said, well, what else are you doing? And they looked at me like deer in headlights, right? Like, what do you mean? What else is there to do? And I said, well, you need to be proactive. If you're just waiting for the MLS and just waiting for homes to hit the MLS, you're just doing just like, 15, 20 other agents are doing for that same type of price range and that same type of a home. So I said, let me share with you what I've talked with other agents that have been getting a lot of buyer deals together in this crazy market. I mean, I had one agent last month, the month of April, where she was in 6 offers that she put in, and had 5 of them accepted, and 4 of those were off-market properties, right? And she wasn't competing against 10 other buyers. She was able to go in there, give a very good fair offer, showed on paper how it was a great offer, and it was above really fair market value. Was able to go in there without having the seller have to go through all kinds of showings and go through all the hassles of all that. So I wanted to share with you some different tips that I share with these agents that were struggling, and hopefully they follow suit, and hopefully you do as well if you're having the same type of a problem. So how do you find off-market properties? Well, the first tip I'll give you is that you have to let everyone know that you have a buyer, right? Don't be that secret agent, or don't have that secret buyer that's out there. Let people know, and start off number one with your database. Everyone, like I said, if you don't have a database, you don't have a business. But look at your database, reach out to them, let them know. Send them a short email, just let them know you have a buyer that's qualified up to a certain amount. They're looking for, again, and keep also the information, be specific, but you don't have to write a whole book about it. But if they're looking in a certain school district, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, certain school district, here's the price range, that's really all you need. If it's a certain type of style home that they want, then obviously you could put that there as well. But just send it out to your database. You never know. Maybe your database or someone they know is looking to sell and can send me your way. You might have an investor database. Send it out to your investor database. But your database is definitely something that I would highly recommend you doing, and that's where a lot of agents are able to get some of these off-market properties. Number 2, expired, withdrawns, and FSBOs, right? For sale by owners. Go back 3 years. Go back 3 years on expired listings and withdrawn. I know there's not a ton of them because pretty much the last couple of years we've had stuff selling, but there's still some people that you'll be surprised that withdrew their property a year ago, 2 years ago, for whatever reason. They didn't get the job, they lost their job, or whatever the situation may be, that if you reach out to them and say, hey, I have a qualified buyer, you don't have to put it on the market, let me take a look, we'll do a one-time showing, you'd be surprised at how those people are still interested in getting their home sold, right? Situations might have changed, and you may be able to get in the door with that. So definitely recommend expired listings, for sale by owners, and withdrawn especially. Those are the ones that we find to have some luck with. Number 3, calling listing agents that are in that area that are selling a lot of properties. right? If you know of an area, maybe a Scotia Glenville or Albany or, Slingerland, find out who's the top 10, 15, 20 agents that are in that area selling properties, and just reach out to them. Ask them, say, hey, I see that you sell a lot of listings, and I have a buyer that's looking in that area, or a buyer that was looking for the type of home that you just sold. Do you know of any other properties that are coming on the market? Maybe they have another agent in their company that's looking to put something on the market, right? Maybe they have a client, whatever. But reaching out to those agents is a very successful way of you being able to do it. Yeah, does it require work? Does it require you to pick up the phone? Absolutely. But this is why we're being proactive for our buyers, and this is why the buyers are paying us a fee to actually do this work and go find them a home, right? So reaching out to other listing agents, we're actually going also in your own company, letting your company know that you have a buyer, right? We talk about all the time in our company what needs and wants. I have this person and they need this type of home, or I have this listing that's coming up on the market. If you guys have any buyers, let us know, right? So you want to make sure that you're reaching out internally as well to your own business. Social media posts, that's another big one. That's underutilized. I see so many posts, just listed, just sold, testimonials. Those are all great. But when you have a buyer, put out there, attention Capital District homeowner. We just did one today on our Miranda Real Estate Group site. We have a few buyers that are interested, and we want to find out who the sellers are that are out there that are interested. And as soon as you put the post out, we got a phone call on it, right? And those are the type of things that if you could do a video like this, even just letting people know, just a quick 1-2 minute video that says, hey, here's the buyer, here's what they're looking for. And if you or someone that looking to sell or have that type of a product, give me a call and we'd be more than happy to, come over and make a meeting of the minds and pay full market value for the property. So using social media, and you guys know, Facebook, Instagram, I know a lot of people use TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever you have to do, use the social media because that's another great database for you. And then the last one on here is direct mail. Direct mail works. I've shared with you guys before I have a buyer letter, letting people know you have a buyer, willing to pay, if they're a cash buyer, willing to pay, the full value of her home. Could be flexible on closing, whatever that may be, but put it out there and send it out to the neighborhoods that they're looking for. If they're looking for a certain type of home, maybe a ranch or a colonial, or they're looking for a certain price point, you can go into the tax records and actually pull that list out and actually send it. The other idea we had too is that if you're not liking the I have a buyer letter or feel that's been played out too much, you can also use a letter that comes directly from the buyer. That's another great move. A couple agents that I know out in Arizona use it very effectively. We shared it at our listing boot camp on how to get listings. But when you have a buyer that is willing to go ahead and allow you to use you actually write the letter on their behalf, where they introduce themselves. They say, hey, I'm looking for a home in this area. Here's what I'm looking for. They put the criteria, what they're looking for. And then on the bottom, if you're looking to sell in the next 2 to 3 months or the next 3 to 6 months, contact my agent. It's Bill Smith. Bill can be reached at this phone number, or here's his email address. Here's the agent that we've been working with. Bill knows that we're reaching out to you. So if you are looking to list your property, reach out to Bill and he'll know how to get in contact with us. That's another great move and another angle for you to do. But the whole purpose of this is just give you guys some ideas on, don't just sit around and wait. Don't just sit around and wait for the MLS to come up with a house and compete. Because I'll tell you, I think back to the COVID days, we had some agents put 10, 15 offers in for a buyer before they actually got it. Or the buyer just said, I'm done. I'm burnt out. I'm just going to rent. The heck with it. I don't want to go through all this. So before it gets to that point, or worse yet, the buyer feels that they need a new agent because their agent's not getting it done, or geez, I'll just go directly to the listing agent because I know the listing agent will get both sides. So, I'll just go through them. Be more proactive. Use some of these 5 tips that I just went over, and you'll be surprised at some of the reactions and some of the feedback that you'll get, and you will be successful for sure on finding off-market properties. So anyways, scroll down below, leave a comment, and let's go get them this week.